Should we spread glow sticking in a high school setting? Continue listening to find out more. Many newcomers and non-glow stickers ask this question: why is it so bad to glow stick in a high school setting? I will admit that this is not an easy question to answer, and the answer is also not an easy one to comprehend. However, I do believe that it is important for us to try our best to understand this topic fully in order to preserve our beloved dance and its culture. The following explanation will be based somewhat on generalization, but I believe this generalization is necessary, especially on this specific topic. Will there be exceptions? Perhaps. But realize that history often repeats itself unless we make a collective and conscious effort to change its path. Since glow sticking is relatively new, in order to find answers in history, we look to another underground dance form that has already made its mark: b-boying or breakdancing. B-boying started as a fairly underground dance form, but once MTV got a hold of it, it exploded through TV and movies such as Flashdance. After that, it seemed like everyone was spinning on their backs on a piece of cardboard. MTV made b-boying the popular thing to do, not just for the people who lived b-boying as a lifestyle, but for everyone, the general public. It's not hard to see that during this process, the culture and meaning behind b-boying became diluted. People who saw b-boying through mass media only saw the moves and the fame associated with the ability to perform these moves. The culture and its meaning were, of course, lost. After all, you don't need to understand what b-boying is about in order to learn the moves and become popular, to jump on the trend. Naturally, when MTV decided that b-boying was no longer the cool thing to do, these posers fell off the bandwagon. B-boying was chewed up and spit out by mainstream. The point is, when an underground dance form becomes a means to popularity, whether through mainstream and mass media or otherwise, it dilutes the art and culture. Many breakdancers have no idea what it means to be a b-boy, they just copy what is cool. That's the lesson I think glow sticking can learn from the history of underground dance forms. Many of us who have been through high school can agree that a big part of high school revolves around fitting in, popularity, and trying to identify yourself. This is definitely not a bad thing, it's just a process that most of us had to go through before truly finding ourselves. However, it is most likely a bad setting to introduce an often misunderstood underground dance form, such as glow sticking. If we ask the high school kids who insist on glow sticking in high school why they do it, most of them will answer something along the lines of, "I did it once, then a lot of people thought it was cool." With that said, can you see how it is very likely that they are glow sticking only for attention and praise, either subconsciously or purposefully? It makes perfect sense for people to repeat something because it was positively reinforced, through praise and gaining popularity, especially for high school kids. If they don't care about the attention and popularity they gain, why can't they wait until after school? Wait until they go home or their friend's house? Wait for a glowsticking.com meetup? Or even organize their own glowsticking.com meetup? The biggest concern of spreading glow sticking this way, in high school, is that the culture and meaning behind the dance often gets lost, much like what mainstream did to b-boying. Let's look at two possible scenarios. 1. You glow sticked at school and got picked on by many of your peers, so you probably won't do it again in school, and that was that. 2. You glow sticked at school and received positive responses, gained some attention, popularity, and had some people inquire about it. Let's consider the best case scenario after that. You understand the culture related to glow sticking pretty well. You understand the philosophy and the non-competitive nature of it, and you explain to your peers all of this when they asked you about glow sticking. Why do you think your high school peers are now interested in glow sticking? Isn't it very possible that the positive reinforcements, the praise, the popularity, are their motive? Much like how MTV made b-boying the cool thing to do, you have just made glow sticking the cool thing to do amongst your peers. Perhaps you had the good intention of spreading glow sticking the right way by explaining the culture and philosophy behind the dance, but you have to consider how perceptive your audience would be towards these ideas. It is so easy for people to copy what you are doing without understanding the importance of culture because they can gain what they want just the same. It is easy for us to say that culture and philosophy behind glow sticking is important because we care about this dance. But at the same time, we all need to realize that in an environment and mindset where popularity and fitting in is the most important thing, that often overshadows everything else. Just look at what kind of music high school kids listen to, what kind of clothes they wear, or even just how they talk, and maybe you will understand what I mean. Almost everything done in high school is for the same purpose of fitting in. That's why it's much better to promote glowsticking at a rave, immersed in the culture that glowsticking originated from. People are already used to the ideals and philosophies of tolerance and acceptance, so there is much less of a chance that people will take it out of context. Even at a club that plays electronica, dance music, you can bet that the vibe is closer to a rave than when you are in high school. People go to a club or a rave to have fun, to party, to let loose. People go to school to learn. Once the culture and meanings are lost, what gets spread around from then on will be the diluted form of the dance. Or, even worse, after a friend has taught a friend who has taught a friend, some other ideals that are in direct conflict with what glowsticking should be about get mixed in there. People who did not care about glowsticking could very well want to battle each other just because it creates tension and drama that can net them more popularity. Let's see who is the best. Everybody come watch. We are going to settle this once and for all. It may sound like we are saying that, if you are still in high school, then you do not have the ability to appreciate and understand the culture and meaning behind glowsticking. But that's not the case. There are quite a few Glowsticking.com members who are still in high school, and they live and understand the culture of glowsticking. And that is also not to say that immaturity and high school mentality completely disappears after high school. Of course not. Different people grow up at different paces, and some carry high school into college with them. No one instantly grows up on the day of graduation. You have to understand that we are not discriminating against age, but against the setting of glowsticking in high school. Because high school is a breeding ground for mainstream, what is said often is not heard. Of course we want to promote glowsticking, but we also want to promote it correctly. We need to pick our battles carefully, and more often than not, doing it in a high school setting yields more bad than good. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this article. For an additional question and answer session concerning glowsticking in high school, please visit the text version of this article in the cultural articles on glowsticking.com.